Greetings, One Piece fans. I'm Adam. This is Ed. We're just two friends who like to talk about One Piece, and we just wanted to share a couple of our theories with the world. So, first things first, newest chapter just dropped today, 970. The return of Oden and the fight of Kaido. So, Ed, after reading the chapter, what do you think? What stuck out to you the
Um,
most?
well, first off, Odin is just such a badass. He is quickly becoming like one of everyone's favorite characters. The betrayal of um, Orochi is just one of the most upsetting things I've read it in this series. Um, and just how Kaido doesn't play fair either. He is not, I mean, he's a bad guy. He's a bad pirate. He's evil. He's an antagonist of our story. So yeah, Kaido just kind of using Momo as a distraction. And was it even real Momo or was it the shape
No,
change?
it was the cicada lady, one of the members of Orochi's clan, the Kurozumi lady, the old one. It's
Yeah,
funny you bring that up because just kind of like bouncing off you for a second. So yeah, despite reading like all of Odin's flashback, we all know that he's gonna die. So he's like built up, so we like really love his character and his feats. And come on, he like best friends with Whitebeard and best friends with Roger just to come home and get taken out. Like it's super bittersweet that we know Odin's gonna die. We know how
yeah.
he's gonna die. We know it's a dishonorable, a pitiful fucking death. And, we love the character. So it's just really bittersweet. Another one of the takeaways that I brought from this chapter was now there's a clear divide that there are just two separate factions of pirates. You have like the freedom loving, hey, don't mess with me. I just want to be free. I just want to hang out with my friends and travel the world. And then you have like pirates that are just lusting for power. And I think it's interesting, like the whole dichotomy they set up too, because it's just similar to how they set up the D's, you know?
Yeah, I
So,
mean, within the D's, even in the current generation, you've got Blackbeard and Luffy who represent exactly what you said, the chill, I want to have fun, let's explore guy, let's live our dreams with my friends. And then you got the other guy who's just like lusting for power, and um, they both are very determined in their own way. Maybe D stands for determined, just kidding, but
everybody knows it stands for diametrically opposed, as in the characters of Luffy and Blackbeard. But okay,
should we do a brief synopsis of the chapter?
yeah, we can go for it for those of you who haven't read it. So basically, if we want to get to the skinny, so Odin goes and he marches on, I forget the capital of Wano, but he marches on the capital of Wano, and halfway there, he meets up with Kaido, who's already laying in wait for him in the Scabbards. And Kaido basically tells him flat out, Odin's like, hey dude, how'd you get here? And Kaido tells him flat out, we have somebody on the inside of your organization. And then basically it just all pops off. The nine red scabbards plus Odin, 10 samurai versus 1,000 beast pirates in Kaido. And you can even see queens there, kings there. I didn't see Jack. And then out of nowhere, like Odin's about to get sniped and just shot in the head. I guess his observation wasn't good enough. But he gets saved by Shinobu.
Which
Shinobu
was a
goes ahead.
cool reveal. She's actually pretty, like she says in the earlier chapters when we see her as an older woman.
Would you say she's slayed you? Because she
No.
is Shinobu the Manslayer after all. But like, so I just think it's interesting. All right, I just don't want to hop off. But so basically, long story short of it, Odin and Kaido battle. Kaido's like, dude, if you would have just been yourself, who you were when you came back, and you just ran at me in Orochi full strength and gathered the forces with Hirogoro, we would have had you would have had us. Kaido basically states you got soft, you got weak, you're a good pirate, and that's the whole reason why it's going to be your downfall.
And
And
despite that, he still almost defeats Kaido with his dual X slash. Um, and the only reason he lost was because of the shape changing person. I forget her name, pretending to be Momo, and Kaido and Oden turns his back on Kaido and then gets hit from behind.
Yeah, Odin was just about to lay the final blow. But I think it's interesting too because like they're setting up okay, so Odin beats Kaido 1v1. So Odin is obviously stronger than Kaido. But then again at the same time it's like Luffy, nobody's saying Luffy versus Kaido 1v1 is going to win. All the theories I've seen and everybody talking about this matchup is always like, oh, it's going to be Luffy. He's going to need Law there. He's going to need Kid there. We're going to have to get the whole Grand Fleet there. Jinbei is going to have to show up. The Whitebeard Pirates are going to have to show up. The Minks are going to have to show up. So, Oda's setting Odin up to be just larger than life. Like, obviously Odin, if he wasn't, such a good guy, if he wasn't like, such a caring, selfless dude, then he would have just flat out just murked Kaido one on one.
I
So,
see. Yeah.
but we know that Luffy eventually, by the end of the story, is going to have to be stronger than Kaido. So, yeah, obviously stronger than Kaido, obviously stronger than Orochi, or excuse me, Odin. So, like, we don't have that much time for Luffy, from here fighting Kaido, needing everybody and their grandmother to beat Kaido, to surpassing somebody like Odin, who 1v1, hurt him, which was, unwoundable.
Yeah, up until this point, I mean, he never had those scars until this point. I mean, Kaido has lost. Like he's been captured by the Marines multiple times.
But he's never
He's
feared for his life.
no. I think yeah, this is really the only time where he looked completely shocked.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
was he
like,
was mortally wounded. If not for trickery, he would have been dead. And Wano would have been saved. The borders would have been open. Odin would have been around to be a good dad. But it's like it's really bittersweet the way Oda's setting it up, and I can understand the way he's doing it. But it still just leaves a lot of ambiguity to like how much time are we really gonna have for Luffy to get stronger, and how much time are we really gonna have for the Straw Hats to ascend to a level in which they can find Raftel. Luffy can 1v1 a Kainu. Luffy can 1v1 Blackbeard, and Luffy can attain Pirate King due to his own strength and the help from his friends. Because the way they're setting it up, they're like, oh yeah, there's 5 years left in this story. There's like, one big saga and a couple arcs left, like Elbaf and stuff like that. Like, how much time do we really have for Luffy to get
and
stronger without another time skip?
yeah, in real life, it's 4 to 5 years left. There probably won't be another time skip. I don't think. I think only one time skip, and we're good. We'll have flashbacks and whatnot, but if they do another time skip, it's just because they're trying to rush the series to an end, which I don't think that they're going to do. I think that this time skip was pretty rushed feeling compared to previous Oda time skips. That being said, it's still pretty like he gets the point across without us feeling like we're missing too much. But yeah, anyway, so moving on with the rest of the chapter, it shows Oden and the 9 red scabbards were all captured.
With Shinobu,
Uh,
too.
with Shinobu, and Oden pretends that Shinobu's not one of his allies and lets her get free. And they basically announce that Oden, along with the other 9 red scabbards, are all sentenced to be boiled to death. Boiled alive, like a lobster.
Or soup.
Or soup, like his namesake. He's a type of noodle.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, so the segue here, at least for me, is you and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I just want to bring it up again. But the way that they set it up initially was that Odin was captured, Odin was boiled, and then Odin Castle was burned. So these have to be two separate events. We know that the Scabbards were at Curry Castle, but right now they are slaked to be boiled alive with Odin. So they have to escape somehow. We just don't know how they're going to escape. Do you?
Well, so one thing is that we know that one of the nine red scabbards is a traitor. So
Ooh. Mm-hmm. This has been referenced
Orochimaru
multiple
and
times.
Kaido would not want them to be boiled alive, that one person. So maybe they, in saving the one person that they don't want to be killed, the other ones somehow get off on that same loophole.
Oh, because they don't know of Toki's powers. They don't know that she's like a huge wild card because
Oh, true.
outside of Curry, the only one nobody knows about Toki except for maybe the mole. But at the same time, it seems that the only one in the inner circle that actually knows of Toki's powers is Yasuye, because he says in this chapter, he's like, "Yo, Toki." He goes, "You know that if Oden loses this battle, you're gonna have to jump again. You know, the war is gonna be lost."
Yeah, that's a good point. I completely forgot about that. So Toki probably is the one who saves a few of them at least, well, right before they get boiled alive and sends them to the future.
I don't think so. It
You don't
can't
think
be.
so?
No, because Toki pushed them into the future while the castle was burning.
Oh, true, true that. You're right. They did kind of show a little bit of that flashback.
Yeah, I think the thing that really got me in this chapter was basically, Odin is captured, and then you have, little Momo and little Hiyori talking to Toki, and they're like, "Is Dad coming home soon?" Like,
I know, it's so
the
sad.
feels. It's terrible. Like, you know, Odin, since he's returned, despite from the time he spent with his kids on the Rogers pirate ship, he hasn't really been involved in their lives a lot, and it just
No,
makes it
well,
even
even in the last
heartbreaking.
chapter, 970 or yeah, 970, 969, sorry, they did show him playing with his children, like in between dancing naked in front of the village.
Oh, I
Like,
totally forgot about that 5 year period. Yeah,
yeah,
so he was a real established part of their lives. It's just,
yeah, he definitely had time with them, which is it's good. It's nice that he had time with his children before his tragic early death. So yeah, I guess our next talking point is let's talk about who the traitor of out of the nine red scabbards, who is the traitor that ratted out Odin's plan to Orochi and Kaido.
okay, well, keep in mind that the trader is also somebody who is around in real time as well. So the trader has also let Kaido and Orochi know the current whereabouts of Hiyori. So that's got to be somebody that's currently in the inner circle. And I don't think that anybody who was on Roger's ship or anybody who was on Whitebeard's ship with Odin is the mole. Nor do I think anybody who was sent into the future is the mole. So
Yeah,
right there, that
same.
knocks out Inu. That knocks out Neko. We have Kawamatsu. Kawamatsu was chained up in prison. I doubt he'd be the mole. Um, who
It
else?
would really make sense that the person who was the traitor is living pretty comfortably currently in current time, present time, Wano. Just because they would be rewarded, right? They should be rewarded for their efforts in helping Orochi and Kaido take power of Wano. So, yeah, I think that it really boils down to two main suspects. And yeah, we discussed this a little bit yesterday. So I'll just go ahead and say that the two suspects are most likely either Denjiro or Okiku.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And just to reiterate some of the stuff that we talked about yesterday, like I don't think that Denjiro is the traitor. I think Denjiro has two roles to fill right now. I think Denjiro's primary roles to fill are: one, he's the witching hour boy. So he's conning people. He's trying to get money together for when the Kozuki clan rises again. He's also trying to boost the morale and keep the supporters of the Kozuki clan alive. Again, we know Denjiro's a con man. I wouldn't put it past him to be a pickpocket and kind of like a Robin Hood character.
Totally.
And just to go over this as well is I think Denjiro is going to be instrumental in getting the fruits out of Wano. So getting the barrier fruit, the Bari Bari no Mi, and getting Mr. Two's Mane Mane no Mi out of Wano. Because there's a whole bunch of theories floating around that him and Koshiro are brothers, and it would just make more sense that he would smuggle the fruits aboard the ship that's traveling to the East Blue, because we know Bon Clay and we know that Bartolomeo are both from the East Blue. So those fruits
Right.
had to get to the East Blue somehow.
Yes. And also, wait, did you mention the Kyoshiro thing or just
No, I
Koshiro?
haven't. We were talking about yesterday. I mean, you can go ahead and bring it up. Go for it.
Yeah, so first off, Jiro means like younger brother in Japanese. So Denjiro is likely the younger brother of what we're guessing is Koshiro, Zoro's swordmaster when he was a child. So that relation might be how the two devil fruits were taken out of Wano, and likely the two user, the Mane Mane user and the Bari Bari user, are gonna die like when Odin's castle is burning down, and that's how they get the fruits off. Um, so, anyways,
Do you think it's during the castle burning, or do you think potentially it's when the Scabbards escape their boiling now?
yeah, it could be either. Yeah, it totally could be either. My guess is it's gonna be during the climax of Wano that those two people die. But you're right. I don't know. It could really be any time between now and what our theory of Koshiro taking the fruits off, like whenever that happens. It'll just be before Koshiro leaves. Um, anyway, so there's a theory that Denjiro is posing as Kyoshiro. First off, Kyoshiro is the Yakuza leader, and he's got kind of like the like Majin Buu type eyes, where
Yeah, he's
they're
that
like a little
smarmy dude that
squinty.
went up against Zoro when Zoro tried to attack Orochi.
Yes, yes, and he just kind of casually blocks Zoro, like,
He's
I
got to be
mean,
strong.
he's got to be strong, yeah. So first off, he's already got a sword. He can be a scabbard because Denjiro also had a sword. Um, yeah, and also there was another relation where the names in Japanese, Kyoshiro and Denjiro, the ending of the names look very similar in Japanese. Um, also, they have very similar hairlines. So maybe he might have dyed his hair and put on like an extra wig or something to make it like white
I mean, it
and
would make
pose
sense
as
that a
Kyoshiro.
con man would be adept in disguise, you know?
Yes, he's a con man, so he can be good at disguises. He's dealing with money all day as his job because he's I forgot what he was, like the leader of, or like he's in charge
Oh,
of like the funds of
he's
Wano.
Hirogoro's replacement, so he's currently like the Yakuza boss, the big bad of the Yakuza.
Yes.
And it makes sense because Denjiro's motivation and it seems Kiyoshiro's motivation are both just cold hard cash, money.
Oh yeah, what I was gonna say, he has a money exchange shop. So he does money exchange things. So he's just got a lot of money. And this
Denjiro
fits
or
Denjiro's
Denjiro.
personality, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um so yeah, there's a possibility because we haven't seen Denjiro in the present yet that we know of. So there's a possibility that he's just been hiding in front of us all along. And that really fits Oda's style as well. To have a surprise character, but like we've been talking about this character for a long time, and we actually have already interacted with him without knowing it. That's totally Oda's style.
Yeah, it's
Um,
definitely like Oda to pull the old switcheroo on us.
so yeah, Denjiro. The only reason why he is a suspect for being a traitor is that we haven't seen him yet in the present that we know of. So that's why we're going through this theory. But I really agree that I don't think it's going to be Denjiro. So
Denjiro
I
was
want you to
also
talk about why it's Okiku.
yeah, Denjiro was also the second follower of Oden too. So he was also like
True.
one of the first. So I don't think he'd be so swayed by, I'm gonna sell out my boss for money.
Oh, no way.
So furthermore, all right. So yeah, you already dropped the bombshell. We've come to a consensus that we think Okiku is pretty much the traitor, based on the fact that Okiku wasn't an original scabbard, and I know everybody's gonna be like, but did Okiku and Izu they joined up originally? But yeah, they totally did. But one, they're orphans, so we don't know what's up with their parents. We don't know what clan they're from. We don't know their last name, which all seems to, be a pivotal thing in Wano. We had no idea who the Korazumis were, 2 weeks ago. So all we know is that they're orphans. So basically, what I think is, so Izo ran away with Oden, and then Kiku's basically stuck on Wano, and like that bastard Oden fucking took my brother Izo like away from me. Like I wanted to
My
go with
only
Izo.
family member.
Yeah, like the only person I have in the world, right? So
Exactly.
that bastard Odin just took him away from me, and now I gotta hang out with these fuckers while Wano's burning to the ground, kind of dealy. So I think
Yeah, and I believe Izo was of age to be a scabbard, whereas Kiku was just a little too young, and that's why he wasn't really an original scabbard.
yeah, totally. And it like makes sense too because like after Odin comes back, Kiku would be like, "So where's Izo?" Right? So like Odin comes back
Yeah.
the first time, and like he's Odin's no longer affiliated with the Whitebeard pirates. But like it's like, all right, so like you're with Roger now, so then like what's Izo doing? Like you're not gonna send him home to like his brother. You're gonna let him do whatever he wants and escape.
And I'm sure that Odin explained to sorry, Okiku that it was his own choice. He's an adult, like he can make his own decisions. But I'm sure that Izo felt really bad about it. Like, of course, he loves his brother, but he just, after sailing around the seas with Whitebeard for so long, he grew to love the family aspect of that crew. Like, remember Izo when he first came with Odin on Whitebeard's ship was not a fan necessarily of the crew. He um, was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, Odin? Like, I'm only here to make sure that like you don't fuck up." And yeah, they just grew to love that family aspect, just as a lot of pirates do that were in Whitebeard's crew, including Ace and everyone on Whitebeard's crew. Just they love that family, and he was a father figure to Izo. Like he calls everyone his sons or his children, I guess, and family. Like he and Izo didn't have a father figure growing up, really. Like he was an orphan, so he probably just really craved that affection from Whitebeard, and that's probably why he stayed. But that also meant, staying with Whitebeard means there's really not much communication going on to and from Wano. It's very isolated. It's a very isolated island. So it made, Kiku probably a lot more lonely and sad that he wouldn't be able to talk with his brother.
Yeah, as far as we know, as soon as Izo left, Kiko and Izo never spoke ever again.
Yeah, true.
I
That
mean,
brings some
I also think it's
perspective.
really interesting too that Izo fights with guns and Kiku uses a sword, yet they're both swordsmen, but I think that's just a silent kind of just illustration of the difference between both brothers. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I
or just Oda didn't think that far away when he first introduced Izo, and he's like, "Well, he's a samurai, might as well make him from Wano." And then, oh, I guess Nine
Dude,
Red
you're talking
Scabbard's a
about
thing now.
Oda, the guy that like foreshadowed Conqueror's hockey like 500 chapters before we ever figured out what hockey was.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that like he foreshadows it, and sometimes it's just he writes around it. And in this case, I think that he couldn't write around it. So I don't know. Like it's really arguable, and it doesn't really matter to this conversation. But yeah, either way, um, It is interesting that one of the brothers uses a sword and the other one uses guns. And also, Kiku is the prettier of the two brothers. And I don't know, he just has more of an elegant style than Izo. Izo is kind of just more badass.
Yeah,
And
just rugged, just shooting people in
yeah,
the face with these blunderbusses. So I mean, all right. So as far as we know, Whitebeard never made it back to Wano. Maybe they were on like an outlying island where Whitebeard and Roger met up to have that final sake drink. Hey Whitebeard, you want to know
right.
about Raftel, that kind of thing. Um, so we know that there was a party gone out beforehand to contact Marco and the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates. We have no idea what Izo's been up to. We haven't had a cover story. We haven't had none of that. We have no idea where Izo is or what Izo's doing. I think it would be really poetic for the story. We know that there's going to be reinforcements arriving. I think it's really poetic if Izo comes back.
Yeah, and this would be like the best chapter to get Izo to come back, since we haven't seen him in so long. Like, what is a more fitting chapter than the Wano arc um, to see Izo again? I mean, we saw him again in the flashback, sure, but um, again, for all we know, he's dead after fighting the Whitebeard pirates. So it would be a cool reveal to A, see that he's alive, B, see him back in Wano, and C, just see how incredibly distressed he would be having to fight his own brother, um, who decided to join Kaido and the Beast Pirates, and who was ultimately the betrayer of his country, of his leader Oden.
Do you think they'd fight? Do you think that
Oh,
Izo and Kiku would
if
fight?
Kiku is the traitor, and especially if Izo comes back, they absolutely have to fight. Like, they have to be the ones who fight each other. I think that it would just not be as good storytelling if they weren't fighting each other, assuming everything else happens.
Now, I don't want to like be overhype or anything, but just like setting that up, one seems like Odin's style since in this most recent chapter, he still seems to want us to think that the traitor is Shinobu or like Neko or Inu because they're fighting.
Yeah, and they show Shinobu, but Shinobu has been, you know, with Odin the entire time. She has been spying on Orochi and letting Odin know exactly what happened, and including saving him in the great battle against Kaido.
Yeah, I think furthermore it just reaffirms that Shinobu's good because like Shinobu knows why Odin was dancing. Shinobu never outed Odin because Shinobu knows what Odin was doing wasn't for himself, it was for the greater good of the country. You know,
Definitely.
if Shinobu was a dissenter, she would have obviously sowed discontent in the ranks of the Scabbards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the other interesting things about Kiku, too, that I brought up yesterday is the fact that where did we find Kiku? Kiku was hanging out with Osuru. All right. So the reason why I think that's interesting and the reason why I think that's good storytelling is because I think that Kinemon when he comes back from 20 years in the future and he finally gets the band back together and they all arrive in Wano, where's the first place he's gonna go? He's gonna see his wife,
Right.
ideally. Hey honey, I missed you. We're back. Tell everybody the rebellion's on, this kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
So he's
And guess who's there to know exactly when that happens?
Yeah, but remember, Kinemon's like, I don't really care about my wife right now. The rebellion's too important. But we know that the only people that we know that really know about where Hiyori is are the Straw Hats, Law, and the Scabbards.
Yeah.
There was another interesting point I wanted to bring up. So, God, I forgot. Hold on one second.
It's okay.
Do, do, do. So one of the things I wanted to bring up, and I don't want it to be like super mad hype, but I honestly think like the setup between like Izo and Kiku fighting, I think it could be like emotionally more conflicting than let's just say Luffy and Usopp. I mean, I feel like we're more attached to Luffy and Usopp, obviously, but I feel like the things that they were fighting for, the Mary, a member of the crew, I think like Izo and Kiku fighting over Odin's legacy and like the purity of like who Odin was, I think that would be far more emotional. Does that make
Oh
sense?
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that I mean, I agree that we're not as attached to these characters compared to Luffy and Usopp, but um this Wano arc has been pretty long, and I think that wait, how many acts are there again?
Five.
We're on Act 3 right now, right?
Yeah, and we haven't even had the big battle yet. We're just flashbacking.
Right. So there's gonna be a lot more Wano to happen. So it's we've gotten attached to these characters, is what I'm trying to say, and yeah, the whole like it's kind of them battling out the ideology of Odin, and their battle will kind of show like who's got the right way, and also Odin's ideology, like we mentioned earlier, is like the whole he's kind of like Whitebeard or Roger or Luffy or Joy Boy. Just the happy-go-lucky. I want everyone to be happy. I want to, love everyone that I care about and make sure that their dreams come true. That type of mentality. So I think that this is just a smaller scale version of that. And like also what Odin likes to do is he likes to make us feel for the antagonist, the bad guy, like makes them human, makes them feel, makes their motivations believable,
Fuck
so that we
Orochi.
can. Except, well, yeah, not Orochi, but the good bad guys. He makes it so that we can kind of see where they're coming from and see why they turned to the bad guys for whatever reason, and makes it relatable so that we can empathize with them, even though they made the wrong choice. We can see where they came from, and it helps us understand their motivations, and it helps us, not make the same type of mistakes that they do.
Yeah,
Um,
it gives more humanity to the characters because obviously we're all flawed as humans, and I think Oda just exploits that and is like, hey, we're all human, but there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things, and it's real easy to get tripped up.
Yeah, exactly. And he makes you like, because like sometimes you're the person who made the wrong decision in real life, and he makes you feel better about making the wrong decision. As in, we all make mistakes and we can learn from them. And like, there's so many redemption arcs in One Piece, like Crocodile. Well, I don't know about if he was redeemed, but like maybe a Nell. I don't know if that's a good example either, actually.
Robin,
But
okay, she started off as
oh
a
yeah,
villain.
Robin. There we
She's had a
go.
redemption arc. All right, I think we should just stick with that one.
Robin, maybe Nami, but although she's still kind of like a klepto, like
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we're gonna be seeing any kind of Rob Lucci redemption arcs very soon. Like
no.
he's
But there
like,
are characters
oh,
that we have
Hattori and I, we
redemption.
just never had friends. We were orphans. Oh my gosh! But I
Yeah.
seriously think Hattori is the strongest character in the verse. Fight me.
Which one's Hattori
Oh,
again?
Hattori's Rob Lucci's little pigeon.
Nice.
Totally. Oh my goodness. Oh, actually, so we still have stuff to talk about, but actually, I think we hit most of it. So you want to freestyle for a little bit? Because I have
Sure.
a
What?
question that I was thinking about last night. I was listening to some attacking stuff. And all right, so who do you think's stronger right now in the verse? Do you think Shanks is stronger than Rayleigh?
Uh,
Because I think if Rayleigh wanted it, I think Rayleigh's the strongest swordsman in the world, no doubt. Easy clap.
I just don't think. we've seen enough of feats from either of them to know because like all we know is that Shanks lost to Blackbeard, or he got a scar from Blackbeard, and this was before Blackbeard even got Whitebeard's Devil Fruit. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think that Shanks is a Yonko, so he's obviously gonna be hella strong. Also, Shanks is the captain of his crew, so um, that's kind of like first mate and captain. There really is a distinction. Like
Oh, most
Luffy
definitely.
is definitely stronger than Zoro, and
That's debatable. Luffy's also weak to slashing attacks, though.
yeah, but Luffy probably will win a one-on-one against Zoro because he
It
just
all
has
depends
the
on the hockey,
will.
though. It all depends on
Yeah,
who's
but
got
he's got the
stronger.
will, man. He's got the will that will defeat Zoro.
Yeah, I mean, like, the will's fine, and I totally understand that aspect, but hockey is like the embodiment of somebody's willpower, but at the same time, Zoro's specialized in armament. Luffy's not. So if we're saying like they're equal power level wise, Luffy's
Luffy has like he's really strong in two different types of hockey: conquers and the observe
observation. But
observation. There
but
we go.
Luffy's still not 100% on that future sight observation.
But he
So the
has it.
yeah, he
He
does, but
does. He
there's
does
a
get the future sight once in a while, even if it's not 100% mastered.
what I'm saying is Zoro can take some of Luffy's attacks, but I don't think Luffy can take some of Zoro's attacks.
I think he could.
I
I do.
mean, let's just flash back to, Marineford. When Luffy was thinking about attacking Mihawk, and then he's like, dude, I'm going to lose my arms, man. Like, no, no way. It's the same thing. Like,
Yeah, but
it's
that was
not
before
saying,
Luffy had hockey.
I'm not saying, like, Zoro's better than Luffy. I'm just saying, like, if they were fighting to kill each other, I think in 100 battles, Zoro would win 51 times.
Oh, yeah, I disagree. I think that Luffy would win probably 60 times in 100.
I mean, and that's why we're friends. I mean, it's like a debate through the ages. We're not gonna like screw attack it and like go through like their individual feats and their power scaling and stuff like that. I just think the way that it's set up, if both Luffy and Zoro are at the same quote unquote power level over 9,000, I think Luffy's got more weaknesses.
Oh, true, but they're not at the same power level. Luffy is at a stronger power level.
Yeah, I mean,
What,
until we
like, I
find
don't
out
think. Do you
which was
think that
Zoro's
Zoro would have?
eye.
Do you think Zoro would have beaten Charlotte Katakuri?
I don't know. I mean, but like,
I don't think he would have.
uh, not with the future sight, probably not. No, but what I'm saying is Zoro would definitely have an advantage over Katakuri's Devil Fruit.
Sure, but just because you have an advantage doesn't mean that's a guaranteed win.
Yeah,
And
definitely. I don't think it would have been as easy for Zoro to learn, future sight observation as Luffy had.
yeah,
Because,
and also Luffy and Katakuri's Devil Fruit are similar. So if you can agree that Katakuri would probably beat Zoro, then I'm right, and Luffy would beat Zoro.
the only thing that matters to you is that Luffy would beat Zoro. But
No, the only thing that matters to me is I'm right.
I know.
Sorry.
No, you're good, dude. But so Katakuri versus Zoro is really interesting too. I just don't think it would have been as easy for Zoro to keep up with that future sight observation. But
Yeah,
I do think that there are a couple situations in which Zoro could take out Katakuri.
I think so too. Yeah, and I think that Zoro and Luffy are overall pretty similar in strength. I think that Luffy would just win. But going back to um, Rayleigh and
Shanks.
Shanks, in terms of swordsmanship, Probably not Shanks because Mihawk doesn't even want to fight him anymore in terms of actually winning a fight because a fight isn't, like he can do other shit other than using a sword. Um, he only has one arm too, like, and it's his off arm that he has left, right? Like he doesn't have his right arm, he has his off arm. I believe that's the case.
Yeah, I bet my right arm on the new generation.
Yeah. Um,
But you,
I think that
Rayleigh's
he's
also
still
old, dude, and Rayleigh doesn't have a black blade.
true. Does Shanks?
I mean, we've seen Griffin a couple times. I don't think the last time we saw it was at Marineford.
I don't think it was black. I don't remember it being black.
It wasn't black. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, maybe he reached a level where he's just poured enough. I think Shanks could obviously pour enough hockey into it that he could make himself a black blade. If that's the technique needed, to create the
Well, I think that it's between using hockey over and over again that it eventually turns black, is how it works, right? And it has to be like good hockey. It can't be like scrub
like none
hockey.
of that lame ass dollar store hockey.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, honestly, I think it could go either way just because we don't have enough information to go off of. My gut feeling wants to say that it would be Shanks that wins because he's in his prime and Rayleigh isn't. And that's really the main reason. But I don't know who would win in a fight just because we don't have enough data.
I mean, I totally understand. Then do you think Rayleigh could take out Kaido?
No, I don't. I think Kaido has gotten stronger since he left the Rock Pirates, I think.
I mean, but do you think that? Well, we obviously just confirmed that Oden could take out Kaido. Do you think Rayleigh is stronger than Oden? I do.
You think Rayleigh is stronger than Oden?
Oh, most definitely.
So judging by how easily
Like
Roger.
not current form Rayleigh, maybe current form Rayleigh, but
Well, you're talking about prime, like around the time when Oden fought
Roger.
Kaido. Is that what you mean? Around the time, like this most recent chapter?
Sure.
Yeah, I could. So okay, remember when in the flashback when Whitebeard Pirates and Roger Pirates fought each other, it was Oden versus Rayleigh, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna be equal.
I would say so.
They're gonna be virtually like maybe one edges the other out, but for all intents and purposes, to me that means that Oden and Rayleigh are basically the same tier and the same power level.
Yeah, totally. I mean, but you got to think about it too. Like, Oden went back, and Rayleigh continued on with the Roger Pirates. I mean, he at least sailed for a little while longer. We don't know what happened after that, but we know that Rayleigh was still fighting people, whereas Oden was, trying to reform his country and dancing in the streets.
Yeah, but Oden was still jacked. Did you see the images of him like in the most recent chapter? He was still very muscular. You see like
I mean, of course, he's dancing around in a loincloth. Nobody's going to give him money if he doesn't look shredded.
Exactly. So yeah, honestly, I don't think like sure like by this chapter maybe Rayleigh might have gotten a little stronger, but I don't think it really made too much of a difference. I think that Oden probably was still training and doing his own stuff to stay strong or even get stronger. I don't think that he was just just dancing naked.
And that's totally not. But you even told me he was just hanging out with his kids. Rayleigh was fighting
he's
for
being
his
a good
life,
father.
Dude.
Yeah, but being a pirate sailing the seas, you're not necessarily fighting the entire time or training the entire time as well. There's downtime.
Do you think that fighting opponents would increase your battle prowess faster than just?
Yeah, I'm just saying that we don't know how much fighting he was doing. Rayleigh was doing.
So, do you think that Luffy currently has a gear that he hasn't shown yet, or like some
No,
untapped power.
no.
Do
I
you
think
think
that
it's
he
possible
went
for
his
Luffy to?
absolute max against Katakuri and barely edged over him due to his determination. I don't think he has any secret move unless off screen he's been training. Well, he has been trained. You know what? He has been training in the prison and he's learning the new hockey where he's able to shoot the like basically effectively blast his hockey out of him, out of his fist, so that he can injure Kaido. So I think he will have a new move, come to think of it, because he's that's his training level up.
So, do you think Luffy's gonna 1v1 Kaido?
Yeah, I do. I do. Who else would do it?
I mean, like, I thought the whole fandom was kind of like in agreement that, like, I know a couple years ago before Wano even started that Oda basically stated he doesn't know how Luffy's gonna beat Kaido. He doesn't know how Kaido's gonna, get got. So
Yeah, and I think that's why
everybody,
that he introduced Big Mom into the Wano arc to help with that.
but how is Kaido gonna get got if he's allied with Big Mom?
Maybe she has a hunger spell and she disrupts it.
I mean,
May-
but she's already has.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
like Oda's not gonna reuse the same trope again, considering we just had it in Totland 2 arcs before this one, and then as soon as Big Mom shows up on Wano, she's got it again. I don't think Oda's gonna resort to a cheap trick like that,
Yeah, it's
unless Kaido
true.
and Big Mom fall out over what they fell out over in the beginning. Because as
Yeah,
far as
I
I
honestly have
remember,
no idea
Kaido
how
has
it's
a
going to be
debt to
resolved.
Big Mom, right?
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, as far as I recall, Kaido has a debt to Big Mom.
I don't know. Like, I
Yeah.
just know that they have history, and Katakuri might be their son.
Well, Katakuri, Oven, and Daifuku, because they were triplets,
Oh yeah,
remember?
they were triplets. Yeah, true that.
I mean, it would make sense if Katakuri was Kaido's kid. I mean,
It
they
would.
both start
Yeah,
with
it
K.
would. He's got fangs, man.
Yeah, massively strong. So, like, what do you think is up with Kaido? Do you think he's like that weird Oni race that everybody is talking about? Do you think he's like a dragon that ate like a human fruit, or like a poneglyph that ate a dragon fruit? Like, what do you think's up with him?
um, yeah, I think that he's probably a human that ate a dragon fruit, and that's why Vegapunk was trying to copy a dragon fruit to make his own Kaido. Um, I find it interesting that they took Momonosuke to. Do you think that in Punk Hazard arc they knew Momonosuke was the son of Odin, or do you think that that was just happen chance and luck?
They had to.
They had to have known.
They had to. Like, Kaido knows who Momonosuke is, obviously. I
Oh, he
mean,
does.
yeah, he saw Momo's face, and even
Oh,
furthermore,
true.
in order to change into somebody with the Mane Mane no Mi, you have to touch them. So that means Old Lady had to physically touch Momo's face. So that means that the mole allowed that lady to get close to Momo and the royal family.
How did Momo get captured when he teleported like to the future?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. This is something that we need to research
Like,
for
as
next
far
time.
as I remember, wasn't it like, didn't it have something to do with Kinemon getting attacked by the dragon?
Yeah, I honestly don't remember.
So, like, it's never explained, like, I don't think how they ended up on Punk Hazard in the first place. Because, like, they were sent into the future in Wano, right? Like, Toki's got time powers, but it's not time and teleportation.
Oh, so
Unless,
you
like,
think
Kuma
that
was sitting there.
they were still in Wano when they teleported to the future?
Yes, unless Kuma was there, like, 20 years in the future to, like, bump him.
Oh, so then okay, that makes sense. Okay. I wonder why Vegapunk and possibly Kaido as well chose to try to make Momo a dragon. That's really interesting. Why dragon? when Kaido is also a dragon.
It does make sense, but I also think, like, we're tinfoil heading here. I also think that there is a push from the world government to recreate dragons or to try to get things associated
Oh
with
yeah, because of
dragons.
celestial dragons, and that's just like
Yeah,
their
because
icon,
like
or whatever.
one of the big theories floating around is like the celestial dragons. You know, that namesake is because these people actually had dragons. Like their symbols, like the hoof of the dragon. We still don't know what's up with. Oh, I forget the name of that island that Garp saved the celestial dragons on. You know, some
Okay.
people think
Yeah, I
that
don't
that
remember
was
the
like the
island either.
breeding ground for like the dragons. Like that's where the celestial dragons like kept their dragon cavalry. And when the
Yeah.
island was burned to the ground, you know,
Yeah, and yeah, so they took Momo, we saved Momo out of Punk Hazard, went to Zoe, learned about the elephant,
we
the
also
Zoe
learned
elephant.
that Momo wasn't Kinemon's son. He was in fact the rightful
Oh
heir because he was
yeah.
given it.
Dude, man, the Punk Hazard arc was pretty funny, like looking back, because Kinemon, remember, was literally farting to talk.
Oh my
And he was
god.
cut in half, like
Ugh. It's just that strange Japanese humor.
it was
Yeah, I
so,
guess it would be cool
yeah.
if I was 6 or Japanese. But
And like
yeah.
he talked with a lisp because he was farting to talk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Uh,
but that was also like when we just see like a pair of legs running like stuck in the side of a
right,
dragon. Oh my god.
man. Looking back, it's just kind of funny. And also Kinemon, like he had blonde hair back in the day. He must have bleached it when he was younger, right? Because it
I think
like
it's a Yakuza thing. Cause
uh
doesn't Kyoshiro also have light hair too? I mean, I think it's if I remember correctly, it's
yeah,
kind
he
of like the
does.
Yakuza or Bususoku style, where they like do the pompadour and like bleach their hair.
I see. That makes more sense.
And
Um,
he was a a thug, like a Yakuza wannabe back in the day.
right, right.
Oh man, I want to see the Mountain God again. I think the Mountain God is
Oh
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
current role in
We
Wano.
haven't seen him for a while, or
Yeah,
her.
baby Mountain God though, because I think Mama Mountain
Oh
God is
yeah.
probably gone got. But I
Well,
think
Mama was stitched up.
yeah, Mama was stitched up, but Mama also might have been barbecued for the residents of Curry.
Oh, true. And so, do you think Baby might be a male mountain god?
Yeah, ooh,
We don't know,
check
but
out
yeah, it
the
would be cool to
tusks on
see it
that.
back. Like this would be like the well, in the future time, the final battle will be a good time to see the mountain god return. That'd be a great little
I mean,
fun
like
thing.
the Mountain God, like popping out of the water to like deliver the whole group like in its mouth would be like,
Oh, that'd be so cool.
yeah, like D-Day, just like one gigantic freaking pig rolling up to a beach and opening up its maw. I think that would be pretty awesome.
This is Normandy.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like affix bayonets. But oh my god, like I think what are your thoughts on the Wano arc like as a whole so far? Because I'm like in love with it. I think this is like one of the best One Piece arcs, and I'm not just saying that because I'm like weebing out, but like the art style and the plot and the characters. Like I love Oden so much. I think he's such a good character, and I absolutely despise Orochi. Like I can't wait to watch Orochi get
Yeah,
stuck into the
Orochi and
Japanese
Kaido
world.
both, like they're both scumbags. Like they both need to just get fuck off and die.
Yeah.
Um
So like,
yeah. So yeah, what I think about Wano arc, I think it's one of the best arcs in One Piece, honestly. I think that it is the best post time skip arc. Um I think it's great because this is the first time we were in a quote unquote Japanese country in One Piece. So this is really Oda's,
like
you know,
homage to his own culture.
home, yeah, home turf. And he has a huge affinity towards Wano, and he's doing some really cool things. Like he's doing the 5 act thing, which is really
Yeah, from
cool.
the Kabukis.
And the kabuki play like style of telling the story. Um, yeah, I think that is just kind of like this is probably one of the last arcs of One Piece. There's probably I think that there might be one more arc, maybe two, after this. I think the next arc is going to be finding One Piece and doing all the epic battles with Blackbeard and the world government. I think that that's the final arc, and that's the
Can't
next
be.
arc.
Can't be. Can't
Because
be.
there's only 4 or 5 years left, and how long has Wano been going on for? I think it started 3 years ago, like 2017, I believe, is when Wano started. So yeah, it could be 1 to 2 more arcs, and so this is gonna be one of the better arcs because it's like the penultimate arc, setting everything up. We're gonna learn so much about the will of the D. We're gonna learn so much because I mean, should we go into the theory of the will of the D being the symbol of the moon and how uh, Kazuki Oden, like his family, one of the originators of the Will of the D, and even Toki's family and all of the, main houses of Wano might have been the originators of the Will of the D.
Ooh, here is a good thought. I don't think the D. I honestly believe it stands for dawn, as in like
Like Romance
raised
Dawn.
with dawn, romance dawn, that kind of thing. But think about it: the moon has to rise before the sun does. So I think the
Ooh.
Kozuki's and I think everybody affiliated for them, including the Minks, are the ones who are protecting the world until the dawn rises.
I kind of like
Because
that, dude.
Pedro himself stated, "My purpose, the Nox pirates, the Night pirates, my whole purpose is to ensure that the world sees the dawn."
Yeah, that's a great theory. Yeah, I think that that makes a lot of sense.
Mic drop.
So on that note, I think we've been recording for
Over an
what,
hour. We're good though.
over an hour. Wow.
Almost. Yeah, we're like 2 minutes away from an hour, but like I think this is pretty good for a first podcast. We'll go ahead, we'll prepare it, we'll upload it, and then we'll see what everybody thinks. But it's been good chatting with you, and I hope this becomes a regular thing for us.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All
Yeah,
right.
man. Take it easy. Good talk.
All right.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.